everyone, and welcome to my little corner. Today I want to tell you about me and my husband's love story. The reason why I'm not doing this video with him is because I want to tell you my side of the story, which is a little bit more dramatic than his side. So let's get started. So most of you must already know about my Love K-Pop subs channel where I sub K-pop songs. He also had a channel where he subbed K-pop and J-pop songs called Sleep Like Her 21. Well, you know my channel, and one day he messaged me on Facebook and I didn't ignore him, so we started talking. First mainly about our channels, we would help each other out, and then we started to get to know each other more. And after a while, we started online dating. Of course, I lived in Portugal, he lived in the States, and at the time, the thought of us actually meeting in person didn't feel like something that could ever happen. And then years passed and plans grew and love grew. After 3 years, on our 3rd anniversary, we met. I had finished all the things that had me stuck there, and he got his life together and he gathered the money and he came to Portugal to meet me. I was so nervous at the time, and when I finally saw him in front of me, it was so unreal. I couldn't believe he was right there. It was awkward at first, but because we were used at each other through texts and calls and Skype, but it was very different in person. Maybe some of you have gone through the same thing, but the awkwardness ended quickly. He spent a whole week with me in Portugal and he met my parents. And here comes the sad part of the story. Up to this point, my family didn't know about his existence. So when I told them about him and our plans, my parents freaked out in the most horrible way. This is when the most amazing week of my life turned into the most stressful and sad week of my life. And I know it's my fault. Maybe I was a bad daughter and I just kept it a secret from my parents all that time, because my dad especially, he strongly disapproved and hated the fact that you would talk to a stranger online and it's dangerous, and I know all of it and I know where he's coming from. He's just scared that something might happen to me, and it might have been a little reckless or just something I shouldn't have done to not have told them earlier. But I was so scared of my parents' reaction that I just couldn't bring myself to tell them. And then when I finally told him, he was already there and I was already telling them our plan, and it was just so much information all of a sudden for them, and it was way too overwhelming, and it was really hard for them to accept what they just heard from me. Our plan was for me to come to the States with him because it made more sense, since I can speak English and he doesn't speak Portuguese. He has a job here and I didn't, so the only thing I had attaching me to Portugal was my family. And yes, family is the most important thing in your life, but love makes you do crazy things, and I'm example number 1 of that. I chose to leave my whole family. I chose to do this crazy thing and leave my family, leave Portugal, leave everything I knew, and I came to the States because I love them that much. My parents begged me to stay. They even tried to make deals with me, and it did break my heart. I thought about it over and over and I was crying every day. But even though it broke my heart to see my parents like that, my heart was set and I couldn't stand being without him. 3 years is a long time when you're away from someone you love. And if you've been in an online relationship, or simply a long distance relationship, you know what I'm talking about. It's really hard to, everywhere you go, there's couples everywhere, and you just can't help but feel so jealous because they're together and they're happy, and you have someone, but it's on the other side of the world, and you can't do things together like those couples you're looking at. And it's really sad. It's really hard. It's extremely hard. If you're not really committed, if you don't really love the person like a lot, you're not gonna make it. But we made it, and we were always faithful to each other even though we were apart, and we survived for 3 years like that. And so I made my decision and I left Portugal, and here I am now in the States with him. He proposed to me in Portugal and we got married here. It's been 6 months since I left Portugal, and I talk with my family every day. Even though it was very hard in the beginning, I can see that they accepted it a little bit more now, and I feel somewhat better. I do miss home a lot. I do miss my family, and there are a lot of times when I still feel bad about what I did, even though they might look like they're okay with it, or a little bit okay with it, or they just got used to the idea. There are a lot of times when I still feel really bad and my heart breaks because I feel guilty about what I did. But I feel like if I had to do it all over again, I would still make the same decision. And a lot of people said I was crazy, almost everyone opposed, but at the end of the day, it was my life and my happiness, and I made a decision to follow my heart, and I love him every single day. So that was my love story, or our love story. Yeah, I don't know, you think about it, you might have a strong opinion about what I did, or you might think I did the best thing. I don't know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about it. Strangely, everywhere we go, if there's someone who asks about us, and then we tell them, as soon as I tell them I'm from another country, of course they're gonna ask more details about it, and then we end up telling our story, but in a very quick way. Of course, I don't tell them the sad part about my family or anything about that. I just tell them the overall what we did, online dating and stuff like that. And pretty much everyone is like amazed by our story, and I didn't think our story was that great. I mean, I've seen a lot of love stories, but I never thought that our story would be a great story and it would amaze or impress anybody. But since a lot of people have been reacting so much to our story, I thought I wanted to share with you guys our love story, and let me know what you think about it. And what about your love story? Do you have a love story to tell? I would love to hear about it, so in the comments down below you can tell me yours. So if you liked it, if you enjoyed it, please give it a like and make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next Monday. Bye bye.